The WOW signal, as it's now called, is considered to be one of the best potential radio communications from an alien life form.
Who doesn't love a good unsolved mystery? On this day in 1888, Jack the Ripper claimed his first victim. Although many theories have been put forth, his identity has never been conclusively established. Do you have a theory of your own on who committed the infamous Whitechapel murders? Let us know below.
Number 20. The Bermuda Triangle.
Why have so many ships come to grief in these crystal clear seas?
Stretching from Miami to Bermuda and Puerto Rico, this loosely defined region in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean has gained notoriety for numerous aircraft and ship disappearances. This has led to various theories, including magnetic anomalies, extraterrestrial activities, and underwater anomalies.
One time we went out with a sonar, placed it at the bottom of the ocean, and something sent a magnetic field back up, but they said it was like almost 100 feet in the ground.
However, many scientists dismiss the notion of any nefariousness, attributing incidents to human error, natural disasters, and the area's heavy maritime and air traffic. Despite efforts to debunk myths surrounding the Bermuda Triangle, its reputation as a dangerous zone persists in popular culture, fueling speculation and fascination. Number 19. Lost Colony of Roanoke. In 1587, the Roanoke Colony, led by Governor John White, was established on Roanoke Island, North Carolina. White returned to England for supplies that year, but when he came back in 1590, the entire colony had essentially disappeared.
All that remained was an earthwork fort that still stands here in the trees, not far from the shore.
The only real clue was the word Croatoan carved on a post. The fate of the colonists, approximately 115 individuals, remains unknown to this day. Theories include assimilation with the Croatoan tribe or struggles for survival. The disappearance of the Roanoke colony is one of the most enduring unsolved historical questions in American colonial history.
The lost colony remains this mystery that's at the very heart of the origin of our nation. People remain fascinated by Roanoke because we know so little about the place.
Number 18. Dyatlov Pass.
This is the last photo taken by a group of experienced Russian hikers the night they disappeared in February 1959.
In 1959, a group of 9 experienced hikers, led by engineering student Igor Dyatlov, ventured into the Ural Mountains. Their deaths in what became known as the Dyatlov Pass incident perplexed investigators. The hiker's tent was found torn from the inside, and they fled into the freezing night without proper clothing.
Something drove the group from the tent so fast there wasn't even time to unbutton its entrance or put on the heavy winter gear necessary to survive the conditions outside. 6
succumbed to hypothermia, while others exhibited bizarre injuries, including a crushed skull and missing eyes and tongues. The Soviet investigation concluded with an ambiguous statement of, quote, compelling natural forces. Theories abound, from avalanches to extraterrestrial encounters, but there is no definitive proof of just what happened to cause such a tragedy. Number 17. The Bronze Age Collapse.
From North Africa to Mesopotamia to the Mediterranean, civilization flourished.
One of the most impactful historical collapses of all time happened around 1200 BCE, with the abrupt demise of several advanced civilizations across the eastern Mediterranean, including the Hittites, the Mycenaeans, and the Minoans. Cities were abandoned, trade routes disrupted, and writing systems vanished. The exact cause of this multifaceted collapse remains unknown, with proposed factors including invasions by the Sea Peoples, environmental disasters, and socioeconomic turmoil.
I do not think that the late Bronze Age collapse would have occurred if it were not for the Sea Peoples being in the mix.
The interconnectedness of these ancient cultures amplifies the enigma, as the collapse lacked a singular catalyst. The Bronze Age collapse remains a complex historical puzzle, illustrating the vulnerability of even the most advanced societies to unforeseen and interconnected challenges. Number 16. The Egyptian Pyramids. Exactly how the ancient Egyptian pyramids were constructed, especially the Great Pyramid of Giza, is a question that is still not fully answered.
The Great Pyramid is equivalent to the Empire State Building of its day. It reaches 480 feet tall, and for about 4,000 years, it is the tallest man-made structure on the planet.
Built around 4,500 years ago, These colossal structures were erected with immense precision, using massive stones weighing several tons each. The methods employed by ancient Egyptians to transport and lift these stones to great heights remains unclear. The lack of conclusive evidence on their construction techniques, considering the advanced architectural achievements of the time, still fuels ongoing debates. The intricate alignment of the pyramids with celestial bodies only adds to the intrigue.
The Great Pyramid is probably one of the most unique and most precise buildings that has ever been built. It is aligned to true north within 1/20th of a degree.
Number 15. Knights Templar. This enduringly mysterious medieval Christian military order emerged around 1119 during the Crusades. Originally formed to protect Christian pilgrims in the Holy Land, they gained immense wealth and influence. Renowned for their distinctive white mantles adorned with a red cross, the Templars developed a sophisticated financial system, becoming early bankers.
Their clever ways with the finance of Christendom aided in both their wealth and power, but also brought a lot of jealousy and resentment.
In 1312, Pope Clement V disbanded the order under pressure from King Philip IV of France, leading to arrests, trials, and the execution of many Templars.
This marked the sudden and violent end of history's most elite military order.
Legends and conspiracy theories about them persist, often linking them to the Holy Grail.
It is said they discovered a great secret buried deep beneath the Temple of Solomon and gathered together in order to protect it from generation to generation.
Number 14. The Holy Grail.
Records show that for 500 years, a cup, thought to be the Holy Grail, was kept in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, Jerusalem. Then, in 909 AD, it disappeared from history.
Speaking of the Grail, this legendary and elusive artifact in Christian mythology has enraptured imaginations for centuries. The chalice Jesus used at the Last Supper, which is what the Grail is usually purported to be, embodies both spiritual significance and magical qualities.
It's important because it's a symbol of renewal and power.
Countless medieval tales, including Arthurian legends, depict knights embarking on quests to find this sacred vessel, often encountering trials and supernatural elements. The Grail's nature and location remain disputed, and many modern literary and cinematic explorations are still based on its myth and legend.
You have chosen wisely.
Number 13. Shroud of Turin.
For centuries, the Shroud of Turin has become one of the most mysterious and controversial pieces of cloth on the face of the planet.
Another iconic relic of religion, the Turin Shroud is a linen cloth approximately 14 feet long, bearing the image of a man believed by some to be Jesus Christ. The cloth displays a faint front and back image of a man with wounds consistent with crucifixion. While some consider it an authentic burial cloth of Jesus, debates persist over its origin and authenticity. Carbon dating in 1988 revealed the overwhelming probability that the shroud was actually a medieval creation, but some people of faith still believe that there is more to the story of the shroud's origin.
Perhaps the answer is as simple as we have been told, that we are looking at the sacrifice of a person made in an act of love, in an act of kindness, and in which he left that holy shroud.
Number 12. Black Death.
It was one of the worst catastrophes in all of history.
A devastating pandemic swept through Europe in the mid-14th century. The plague resulted in unparalleled mortality rates. It is estimated to have wiped out 30 to 60% of Europe's population between 1347 and 1351. While the Black Death's cause is now identified as the Yersinia pestis bacterium, certain aspects of its historical impact remain contentious.
It mainly affects rodents and spreads by way of insects. Because of these insect carriers, plague has been passed on to humans with devastating consequences.
Questions persist about why some individuals seemingly had immunity, the true extent of mortality rates, and the precise mechanism of the pandemic's rapid spread. Additionally, the origins of the plague in Asia and its journey to Europe are not entirely clear. Number 11. Voynich Manuscript. This medieval manuscript stands as one of the world's greatest linguistic and historical puzzles. Originating in the 15th century, the Voynich manuscript is an enigmatic book filled with indecipherable text and bizarre illustrations. Despite centuries of scrutiny by linguists and cryptographers, its code remains unbroken.
Cryptologists say the writing has all the characteristics of a real language,
just one that no one's ever seen before.
Named after the rare book dealer Wilfred Voynich, who acquired it in 1912, the manuscript's purpose, origin, and meaning remain unknown. The pages feature unidentified plants, celestial diagrams, and peculiar human-like figures. Theories abound, linking it to alchemy, herbalism, or even extraterrestrial origins.
There are theories that the book might have been written in a kind of encoded Latin, or that an alien wrote it while being held captive in a monastery, or that Leonardo da Vinci wrote it as a child.
Number 10. Stonehenge.
Time has taken its toll, but this monument remains a marvel of ancient engineering.
A prehistoric monument located on Salisbury Plain in England, Stonehenge is an icon that has puzzled researchers for centuries. Constructed around 3000 BCE, its purpose, builders, and the methods used to transport its massive stones remain unclear. The arrangement of the standing stones in a circular pattern suggests astronomical significance, possibly aligning with celestial events.
By constructing Stonehenge, these people were creating something which had never been created before. It's a bit like their own space program.
The mystery deepens with the origins of the bluestones, transported from Wales over 150 miles away. The spiritual and ritualistic aspects of Stonehenge add layers to its allure. Number 9. Jack the Ripper. The identity of the infamous killer active in the Whitechapel district of London in 1888 remains a gruesome riddle.
He strikes on the spur of the moment. There are some elements which involve planning, like avoiding the blood spatter.
The Ripper murdered at least 5 women, leaving a horrible trail of brutality that has inspired much disgusted fascination over the past century and a half.
5 sordid East End murders became an international phenomenon, and the unknown miscreant responsible for those murders was elevated to the realm of legend.
The killer's true identity has never been conclusively established, fueling a consistent stream of speculation. The lack of definitive evidence, the taunting letters sent to the media, and the Victorian setting have all contributed to the ongoing cold case theorizing of historians, detectives, and amateur sleuths. Number 8. The Lost City of Atlantis.
There is a huge amount of unrecorded human history beneath the ocean surface that we don't know very much about at all.
A mythical island, first mentioned by ancient Greek philosopher Plato in his dialogues, has become one of history's greatest obsessions. Described as a prosperous and advanced civilization, Atlantis supposedly sank into the ocean in a catastrophic event.
A dazzling civilization, destroyed by the gods as punishment for human pride.
The lack of concrete evidence and the allegorical nature of Plato's accounts have fueled speculation about the existence and location of Atlantis. Numerous proposed locations range from the Mediterranean down to Antarctica. Whether Atlantis was a real place, a metaphor, or a product of ancient imagination, the idea of a lost civilization beneath the waves remains enticing. Number 7. The Dancing Plague. Dancing is normally a very healthy activity, but not this time. In the town of Strasbourg, France, in 1518, people began involuntarily dancing in the streets, unable to stop for days or even weeks. The dancing phenomenon spread quickly, ultimately affecting around 400 individuals.
All dancing relentlessly without music or song. Nothing would stop the dancing.
Some danced to exhaustion, including collapsing or even dying. The cause of what came to be called a plague remains uncertain, with explanations ranging from mass hysteria to poisoning or infection of some kind. Records from the time provide limited explanations, leaving the dancing plague as a bizarre and unexplained event.
Some sources claim that, for at least some portion of the outbreak, as many as 15 people were dying a day.
Number 6. The Mary Celeste.
Hundreds of vessels were lost or abandoned in the Atlantic. One of these would become a legend.
An American merchant ship was discovered adrift and deserted in the Atlantic Ocean in 1872. Its crew of 7 and the captain's family vanished without a trace. The ship's cargo and belongings, including provisions and personal items, were left undisturbed, and no signs of violence or foul play were evident.
But 10 persons, the captain, his family, and crew, had vanished without trace, leaving few clues as to their fate.
The mystery deepened with the absence of a distress call or clear reason for abandonment. Was it piracy or mutiny? Other potential explanations put forward include natural disasters or seaquakes. But what happened to the Mary Celeste is still lost in time. Number 5. The Tunguska Event. A huge explosion occurred in Siberia on June 30th, 1908. A massive blast equivalent to 10 to 15 megatons of TNT flattened around 80 million trees over 830 square miles.
People who observed that thought the end of the world had come, Judgment Day, divine intervention.
Eyewitnesses reported a fireball and shockwave, but no impact crater was found. Convincing theories include a comet or asteroid explosion, but conclusive evidence has proven difficult to find.
A shockwave circles the world, leaving its mark on seismographs everywhere. But no one can understand where it has come from.
Its lack of a clear cause and the absence of a particular celestial body continue to intrigue scientists. Unpredictable and powerful forces at play in the cosmos still can, literally, impact us. Number 4. The Disappearance of Flight MH370.
How can a Boeing 777 with 239 people on board simply vanish without a trace?
Modernity also holds more mysteries. The disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 on March 8, 2014 remains one of the most affecting. The aircraft, en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, lost contact with air traffic control and disappeared from radar screens. The circumstances surrounding the disappearance, including the sudden change in course and a communication shutdown, have raised numerous theories, from mechanical failure to deliberate actions. The lack of conclusive evidence has fueled speculation, leaving unanswered questions about the fate of the 239 people on board and the events leading to the tragedy.
Will we find it? I hope so. As long as we continue to look, there'll be a chance it will be found.
Number 3. The Nazca Lines.
They lie neglected for more than 1,000 years and aren't rediscovered until the era of the airplane.
These massive geoglyphs, etched into the desert in Peru by the Nazca people between 500 BCE and 500 CE, constitute one of archaeology's great discoveries. They depict animals, plants, and geometric shapes, and stretch across hundreds of square miles. Their purpose remains elusive. Some experts suggest ritualistic or astronomical significance, while others even muse about extraterrestrial connections.
Excavations suggest the Nazca Lines are sacred sites where people smash pots and make offerings for rain.
The precision and scale of the designs, visible only from the air, are astonishing. Despite extensive research, the true purpose behind the Nazca Lines remains shrouded in the secrets of an ancient civilization. Number 2. The Antikythera Mechanism.
We've had to rethink the history of technology completely as a result of this single object.
Discovered in 1901 from a shipwreck near the Greek island of Antikythera, the Antikythera Mechanism is an ancient Greek device dating back to around 100 BCE. It consists of intricately assembled gears and dials, making it an astonishing technological marvel for its time.
The Antikythera Mechanism has captured the imagination of archaeologists, mathematicians, and scientists ever since.
This artifact is believed to be an astronomical calendar or mechanical calculator, displaying complex astronomical cycles. Its sophistication challenges traditional views of ancient Greek technological capabilities. The purpose, construction, and the precise identity of its creators remain subjects of scholarly debate. Number 1. The WOW signal.
The WOW signal, as it's now called, is considered to be one of the best potential radio communications from an alien life form.
Detected by SETI's Big Ear Radio Telescope in 1977, the WOW signal is an unexplained radio signal lasting 72 seconds. Named after the researcher's handwritten exclamation, the signal's origin remains a cosmic mystery. Its frequency and intensity were theoretically consistent with potential extraterrestrial origin, but subsequent searches failed to detect a recurrence.
That doesn't mean it wasn't ET necessarily. It could be that they just sent us one signal and then went away.
Various hypotheses, including natural phenomenon or a passing satellite, have been proposed, but none fully explain the WOW signal. Decades later, its origin and nature continue to elude scientists, fueling speculation about potential contact with intelligent extraterrestrial civilizations. What do you think is the most interesting unsolved mystery from the depths of history? Let us know in the comments.
It's such a clever, extraordinary, sophisticated machine. Completely shocking for ancient Greece.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.